First off, thanks for coming on.
Dude,
Appreciate
stoked.
it. We've done this before.
Round two.
Round two. Number one was your story, which was fascinating.
Yeah.
But, now there's like the second half of your story and like all this stuff that's out on the table and what you do and your company, Energy Wellness. So let's start by let me ask you about Energy Wellness and how that started and how that came about.
Yeah. Well, before we get started, I got a gift for you.
Awesome.
Energy Wellness Group is lucky enough to be scholarship sponsored by NutriShop USA.
love it.
So in there is a gym towel, a shaker cup, a water bottle, a backpack, and we provide these to clients
we can all use.
at new accounts. We bring these into treatment centers and hook people up with all kinds of goodies. So thanks, NutriShop.
Thank you, NutriShop. There's my water bottle, shaker.
Big old
Gym
shaker cup
towel.
too. And the
Drawstring
backpack.
bag.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, man.
Of course,
Appreciate
man.
that. We'll keep this out right here. All right, so tell me about Energy Wellness. How did Energy Wellness start?
Man, I during COVID, I transitioned out of the corporate world and decided to go back into treatment, into facilitating groups, into leading breathwork, something I had been doing for many, many years previously. And I guess something just had shifted in me, which made the work I was doing much more effective. I had grown, I had changed, and that change was felt and was received. And I was able to really provide more healing and more care to people than ever before. And because I was able to facilitate that, it just grew like a wildfire. I mean, I started turning down groups. I was working so much, and I realized, wait a minute, why am I turning down groups? I can put some people in my passenger seat and have them tag along and become familiar with my proprietary approach to recovery and groups and the different topics we do. And after people spend about 2 to 3 months with me solid, they start leading groups too, and 2 became 4, and 4 became 8, and here we are. I have an amazing business partner, Eliana Liss, and life partner, Eliana Liss, and our team are individuals who have really had that expansive effect. They've really woken up to the truth of life, and they're full of energy, INNER, capital G. It's, kind of a play on words because it's all about energy, right? But the energy is that inner God, is that inner gratitude, is that inner goddess, that inner gangster, that inner genius, the inner growth. Because it's all about taking place on the inside, right? It's all about transforming on the inside. And our groups are really developed to provide that internal shift, that thing that no outside thing can give us. So many people are looking for answers on the outside, but if you lost your keys inside your house, would you ever go look for them outside?
That's a great analogy.
They're in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't go look outside.
Yeah.
But we don't see that commonality with ourselves as human beings, with the development of the soul, the spirit, the mind. And so we go outside and we go to this place and that place and this guru and that guru and, this location and that location and this medication and that drug and this girlfriend and that job. And we never really get what we're looking for because the answers are in the inside. So Energy Wellness Group came together with that methodology, that philosophy to help people unlock something that has always been there and will always be there. They can count on.
Love it.
Make sense?
Yeah. And so your career path, kind of like mine, but mine's not as crazy as yours, but has been kind of like all over the place, right? You started out as an actor and then went into clothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You started promoting
fashion brands,
fashion
nightclubs,
brands,
high
doing all that
society.
stuff, right? And now you and I both have fallen into a career path where it's a service to people and doing that. Like, what was that like? Like, what was the mind shift for you? I'm curious to see.
That's a great question, man. I have achieved great things. I have risen to the top of many peaks, many mountaintops, whether it's being a Brazilian jiu-jitsu champion or being on the cover of magazines or the #1 TV show in the world or top 10 recording artist, all these things that I put my mind to, I got them. And the big question is, but at what cost? Mm-hmm. Cost me my serenity, cost me my sanity, cost me beautiful relationships with wonderful friends, like priceless, intimate moments that I just couldn't be there for because I was grinding, clawing, getting, swimming upstream. I had a goal. I realized I usually always get what I put my mind to, and almost everything I ever put my mind to turned around and bit me in the butt. But putting my mind to, or putting my eggs in the basket of service to others, has not bit me in the butt yet. It's only made me happier. It's only brought me more joy. It's only developed more intimate and beautiful relationships. And so I'm just rolling with it. Why wouldn't I?
So did you just fall into just wanting to experiment with this, or did you have like a moment where you're like, I just got to do something else? Or
many years ago, I was introduced to breath work specifically first, and it was transformative, to say the least. It was very powerful, overwhelming, and an illumination of, holy crap, there's way more to life than I ever realized, which is a common realization for people who really put their best foot forward and go into the breath work. However, worldly clamors and needs and wants and society and jobs and careers. Like I thought I could never make enough money selling air. I was getting certified and going to these workshops. I'm like, am I going to have enough income to just be a hippie sitting in a circle of people who are paying me $5, $10? Like, it's never going to happen. And it didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen, But by having a practice of my own and really focusing inward rather than outward, right? That was the sticking point for me. With the careers, with the fame, with the achievements and the goals and all of that stuff, it was always an outward focus. And it really wasn't until I put the microscope away and took out the mirror and I started looking deeper within, my whole outside world changed. So how could I not? It was a call. And once I started to change, I started to be requested and needed and wanted. And the feeling of being useful is priceless. It's unlike anything else, to be useful to those who are suffering and to help them not suffer so much is it's the only worthwhile work, man. It's beautiful.
Love it. So what is breathworks? For somebody that doesn't know what breathworks is, give me the bullet point version, and then let's dive deeper into it.
Breathwork is a practice of mindfully breathing, which can do many, many, many things in the body, from emotional regulation to trauma release to pain reduction to spiritual connection. Really, there is no limit, and I could say that if I explain it, I'll negate it. Mm-hmm. If you can put it into words, it's not enough. So it's really an experience that you have to have. It's really something that you must experience for yourself to have an awareness of it, to have a relationship with it. And everybody gets their own experience. Sometimes it's pretty gnarly and can be traumatic. Sometimes it's really beautiful and light. Sometimes it's just super soothing. We've seen traumatic release. We've seen, veterans letting go of years of PTSD, seeing their buddies' heads get blown off. We've seen people grieve, come out of a breath work and tell me that 20 years, like 20 minutes of breath work did more than 20 years of therapy for grieving their father who was dead. They just say, You don't understand. And I'm like, I kind of do, actually. I've been there. But you don't understand. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. And, you know, experiences like that are worth their weight in gold. We've worked with people with emphysema, with cancer, grieving spouses, with teens, the Aliso Viejo High School basketball team, you name it. If you got two lips and some lungs, you're ready to do breath work. That's all it takes.
Yeah, so I know I've got to know you pretty good, and I know everything you do. You study the science behind it.
Yeah.
And I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you: Is there science behind breath works, and what is that?
Another reason I love breath work and most of the things that we bring to the table. We like to look at the neurological effects. We like to look at the biology and the nervous system. We like to apply these spiritual ideas and concepts to the actual physical system. So by breathing in the form and fashion that we use in breath work, which is in and out the mouth, there's very many options for breath work: in the nose, out the nose, in the mouth, out the nose, all mouth. However, we breathe through the mouth to activate the diaphragm. The diaphragm can become rigid and tight. It happens in stress or anxiety. It is a natural activation of the nervous system to protect you from breathing too loud. For millions of years, human beings have been kind of fighting for our lives. If you think about, we were cavemen for a really long time, and then it was medieval times for a really long time, and, getting food, protecting yourself, your kingdom, your property. Cowboys and Indians, not very long have we been living like, hey, you can kick it on the couch all day long and be fine. So the human nervous system is really built for survival. It normally will choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven because it wants consistency and it wants comfort. And a lot of people have become very comfortable with circumstances that are not fantastic. This diaphragm locks up, car wreck, your boyfriend's yelling at you, your bank account's going to be overdrawn. It really doesn't matter because the nervous system doesn't know the difference between a circling predator and your own idea about being stalked. I just feel like something's out to get me, right? I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. Nervous system doesn't know. It doesn't have a prefrontal cortex, right? It just knows that there's danger because we're telling it it's danger. So the diaphragm locks up, and what happens is the lower lobes of the lungs, which are responsible for 75% of our oxygen intake, become blocked off from receiving this precious breath. We become upper respiratory breathers. The upper lobes of the lungs are responsible for 25% of our oxygen intake. So by being low in oxygen, we're depriving our brain of a really, really important circulation, oxygen, and hydrogen. There's hydrogen in our system that is also really, really important. Oxygen by itself is anti-cancer, antiviral, antibacterial. Hydrogen gas, they make atom bombs out. This is powerful stuff, right? We have powerful stuff in our body, powerful healers and powerful energy systems that carry electric charges to the cell and create blood flow and essential delivery of nutrients and signals to the system that you're okay. And when that circulation, when that natural flow becomes kinked, so to speak, we experience congestion of fear, hope. We just kink the hose. We become bound up. So we breathe into the belly to get a really big belly to allow the diaphragm to open, to tell your nervous system it's okay. Often people will start yawning just a couple minutes in. And that's a beautiful sign. That means that their nervous system is going, hey, it's okay to relax now. You can actually maybe fall asleep here. There's no circling predators. That in itself, the grounding effect of your nervous system, which is connected to your vagus nerve here, vagus nerve coming from the term vagrant, originating in Latin, touching every organ in your body. So your organs, your lungs, your mind, your nervous system is starting to soothe. This is similar to what we would call a reduction in ego. Ego is a sense of oneself, right? So in my egoic nature, who I think I am is based on what I think is going on and where I think I need to be. And I can't cry. I can't do this meditation. I got an email to send. I can't slow down right now. My kids, my blah, blah, blah. That's who I am. That's what I need to do. What I need to do. But when you shut that off and the diaphragm opens and the belly gets big, it's like, no, you're in this moment. That stuff you can do in 15 minutes. You have this clarity, this authenticity. It's the truth that sets you free. It's the peace that passes all understanding. Because what I'm understanding is what I'm seeing in the physical realm. What I'm understanding is what I can touch, taste, grab, and possess. But it's this inner possession of the intangible, the inaudible, the invisible. I can't see it out here, but I can see it in here. I can't hear it out here, but I can hear it in here. I can't grab it out here, but I possess it in here. All of a sudden, you start to have a possession. You start to possess these truths and these senses, this awareness. We call it somatic healing. There's energy flowing.
So I want to ask you about that word, right?
Yeah.
Because breathworks is a proven somatic therapeutic modality.
Yeah.
Which means it's recognized in the therapeutic community. Master level therapist, PhD level therapist, as something that is effective.
Yeah.
What does that word somatic mean?
Well, I'm more of an experiential guy with these feelings. Ellie's going to Google it right now so I don't butcher it. It's a new terminology, honestly. I mean, for breath work. Like people are now adding this clinical terminology to breath work, which breath work is ancient, tens of thousands of years old, if not more. And now we have this beautiful terminology to define it as an actual billable, term for therapeutic use.
Somatic refers to the body. Just the effects to the body. That's it. So somatic means it has a healing effect to the body.
To the body.
Cancer cells.
Yeah.
And we're learning that trauma is stored in our body.
Yeah.
Right? So it releases trauma.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah. Somatic healing releases trauma because we have so many of these ideas that we're very familiar with, these attachments. And when these attachment is the root of all human suffering, Buddha says, right? And I need, I want, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm that. And you get into this state where you just become kind of neutral. Not even if you don't think, oh my gosh, I'm healed, you're like, wait a minute, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And you can question in this state, am I? Epigenetics and the study that the thoughts are really creating disease, that if your thoughts can make you anxious or nervous, then your thoughts can make you happy and relaxed.
Yeah.
It doesn't work only one way. But something happens in the breath work where you're more capable of having that question mark come in. Wait a minute. Maybe it's different than I thought it was. You're helping people have their own experience, become their own hero, have their own realizations. Because I can tell you till I'm blue in the face, but until you feel it for yourself, which is somatic by definition, feel it for yourself.
So I had an experience with you guys. I did my first Breathworks class about a month and a half ago, I think, and I went in with an open mind, but nervous, and kind of those same thoughts you were talking about, like I got to send this email, I got this to do, I got that to do, and then you stop. And I got into it, and you guys had eye covers that didn't push against your eyes, but blacked everything out.
Yeah.
And when I got to the end of the breathing sequence, I saw colors. And I knew I wasn't really seeing colors, like my mind was like, putting that, but I was seeing colors.
Yeah.
And it lasted about 15 minutes after that until I took the eye mask off. What was that about? Is that normal?
Well, like Stanislav Grof and the godfather of holotropic breath work, as far as bringing it into, westernizing it, calls it emergency breathing. that there's an emerging, that we're emerging into other experiences. You're having an altered state, which I don't believe is an altered state. I believe it's a alpha state, meaning an origin state. You're coming into an origin state, an original state, the renewal of your mind, knowing that you can see colors anytime you want. You can see without your eyes. You saw colors without your eyes. You had an eye mask on. Mm-hmm. You are a creator, and you're a manifester, and there's powerful visions that you can have. And these colors normally mean something. So what colors were you seeing?
I was seeing like green and blue and like white, like behind it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it was like almost like a cloud, like a tie-dye.
Nice.
And then as it started calming down, I saw red, you know. So
that makes a lot of sense. So, of course, I'm just kind of guessing here, but, you know, the green is the heart chakra color. You know, this is the color of love. Green, 528 hertz, heart chakra, heart center, where you give freely and receive freely. Love feels so good, right? And as your heart opens up, your voice, blue. Was it a light blue or a dark blue?
It was like more of royal.
Royal blue.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be third eye crown. Yeah.
Blue's purple is third.
And crown is dark
White.
Purple?
Crown is white.
White or dark purple?
Yeah.
Yeah. So some times the crown chakra is a deep blue, but the throat chakra is a lighter blue. Red represents earthing, grounding, connection. So as you were coming out and you were feeling really grounded, you were potentially maybe seeing that color because you had an awareness of your own ability to ground in your root chakra, be connected and be anchored.
And I did feel grounded. Like after I got into my day, it was more relaxed, you know,
Yeah.
more focused. Yeah, that's interesting.
Super cool, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes people see an eye, they see temples, they see Mayan ruins, they see God, they see deceased relatives, they see their pet from when they were 6 years old and hold it and kiss it, and they come up crying. I was like, man, I smelled it, felt it. It was really real. It was there, which is so powerful. And I believe that we all have the ability to tap into this anytime.
Yeah. Okay. How does somebody get into BreathWorks if they're maybe not plugged into a program? Like if like somebody's listening to this and just wants to try BreathWorks, how does somebody do
You can
that?
definitely go to energy.world. Jump on our website. We're going to have some free guided meditations there. We're going to have a curriculum course. We're going to have some online groups. We're going to have certifications and deeper levels of education to not just master breathwork, but to become a teacher of breathwork and to help people find what we have found, which is financial independence, freedom, be your own boss, help people, be supported by the universe.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so BreathWorks is just a part of what you guys do, correct?
Yeah, and let's get a little ding dong going.
So let's talk about this. What is this? Go ahead.
This is something that we use during our breathwork meditations. This is a 384 hertz in the note of G, 384 hertz in the note of G, tuning fork by a good friend of ours at Earth Tuned. You can actually feel these vibrate when they.
Oh, wow.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
If you can zoom in on the camera, you can actually see the waves coming off of the tuning fork, the vibration. Yeah. We're literally sound waving it.
Yeah.
Come up here.
Can feel it.
Feel that all through your body.
Yeah.
So we help use some of these constructive frequencies to neutralize potential.
So hold on. What is that? So what is that called? Like when you use frequencies to to help your nervous system. What is that called?
Absolutely. I call these weapons of mass construction. We all know we got weapons of mass destruction. We got weapons that hurt people. We got things that impede performance. We have things that bring you down. And then we also have some beautiful tools that help bring you up, that raise your frequency, raise your vibration. Matter of fact, the FDA has just now approved a frequency device to treat tumors, which is sending the counter frequency to the tumor. You can measure the oscillation, the vibration, and the frequency of a tumor, which is illness, and you can impede or neutralize that negative frequency, that negative existence of resonance with a positive that neutralizes it or eradicates it. And there's different frequencies to activate different levels of realization, whether it's to ground and feel more connected, whether it's to lift and be more energized, whether it's to activate third eye or throat chakra. So, for example, I'll come around in a group and, I'll have maybe some people from, the Midwest. They've never heard of chakras. They don't study this stuff at all. They're disbelievers, we'll say, right? I'll come over and I'll buzz this, and they'll come up to me after the breathwork and say, hey, what that thing that you did, I was seeing the color blue when you hit me with that, which is, it says throat right on here, which is the throat chakra color, which is super duper cool. What's that?
Blue is the throat chakra.
Yeah. And so this is 432, which is known as a healing frequency, the miracle tone, some will call it.
And what note is this?
This, I think this is in the key of 432 in maybe an A. This one doesn't say it on there.
But it's got a note.
And I can find out from Earth Tuned. My buddy created these.
Oh, nice.
He saw these in his mind in a meditation. They're the only ones that exist. He created them. It's really cool. So we'll come by and we'll ring these babies, do a little pseudo sound bath.
It's relaxing.
It really is. Can you feel it?
Yeah, it is. It relaxes you.
You can feel it, right?
Yeah.
That's the crown chakra, right?
Crown or healing. So if we were to go with some ascension, some third eye here. See, this is third eye is like a blue here. Put some of this on your finger. Just a dab. Right?
Really the third eye.
Yeah.
That's the crown.
And what do I do with
that's
it?
crown.
That's the crown that he has.
Do I put it on my crown?
On the
Yeah,
crown.
put it on your crown. Open the crown chakra, which I kind of...
So as you're doing breath works, you're activating all the senses. The hearing. This has a beautiful smell.
The smells, the sounds, the encouragement, the love, the lessons, the hope. We come around and maybe we'll tickle people with a
feather.
With
That's
a feather.
peacock feather.
Peacock feather right
Yeah.
here. We collected these ourselves. And this, during this open state, when people are maybe really feeling surrendered and open to this process, you come and you just encourage them a little bit, let them know they're there, releases natural oxytocin.
Yeah.
So you got people pumping oxytocin, pumping the connection hormone, serotonin, feeling connected, and just like falling in love in the course of 20 minutes.
So you've got breath. Your sight is the one thing that you shut off during breath work.
Which makes your sense of smell go through
Which
the
makes your
roof.
sense of smell go through the
Sense of
roof,
hearing
your sense
through
of
the
sound,
roof, yeah.
and so you're activating all those throughout this meditative process.
That's
Yeah.
what makes it somatic, because it pulls it into the body. We're getting out of the mind and into the body. It's all activating our senses and shutting off the mind.
Love it.
Hold on, I'll get these out before it's not so loud. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a breathworks experience, kind of like put in sections.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not only your breath you guys are activating, you're doing things to activate different parts of your nervous system that all goes together. And I remember that was like a big part of it was the sound and the smell. I mean, I just remember feeling like some sprinkles. I don't know if you guys were like throwing water on us or what, but you could smell those smells. And yeah, it's wild.
Sensory. We call it I got my weapons of mass construction and the breath work and most of the groups that we do, really the hope is what we call a constructive interference. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be interfered with, really, but some people, they know it, they're coming for help, they're on a path, that they're on a trajectory, they're on a routine that really isn't serving them, that is hurting themselves, hurting their families, their children, their bosses, their finances, their health, you name it. It's not going great. And it's our divine opportunity to come in there with what we call a constructive interference and try to intervene in the path they're on and gently nudge them onto something a little more hopeful, a little more loving, just through some breath work and some sound and some smell goods.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's our breath work. So
yeah.
In a nutshell. Right? Anything else you want to add about breath work before we move on to your next?
We talked about opening the belly up, right? Mm-hmm. Opening the belly up is the belly in essence is really like the energetic lower self. Mm-hmm. It is the finite self. We got that root chakra, which is the primal carnal self, the flesh, and in that body is in that lower body is really where we hold on to a lot of grief, a lot of fear, a lot of anger and shame. So if you think of your belly as the sewage system of your food, right? It's where what you eat ferments and putrefies. It's kind of like a dark, acidic, scary place with lots of bugs and critters. But it's also where those emotions go to hide. Mm-hmm. But what we should also talk about is that inhale up into the chest, right? When we really stretch our rib cage and grow into our heart center, seeing that heart open up. We're in this world, but we don't have to be of it. Mm-hmm. Right? And we have this body, but we don't have to be defined by it. And as we open up our hearts and we breathe into the chest, you create like more space for love, more space for gratitude. This is where all the feel good stuff. When I'm feeling you from here and you're feeling me from here, and we're exchanging like honest, caring, considerate, loving, just energy. You feel it. You're like, oh,
It's here. Yeah.
Superman's got the S on his chest, right? Boom. It's powerful up here. And we seek and destroy down here stuff that's holding us back, but we really kind of waken this area of our body up just by inhaling and stretching into it and just having the idea, what if I could stir my heart a little bit to give and receive, be more open to giving and receiving love. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
And you just breathe behind that intention and you see lives change.
Yeah. All right. I want to talk a little bit about jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
Right? Because that's something that's you're passionate about. I've been involved in it a little bit.
Yeah.
And what does that do for you? Like, and let's talk about it more in general. Like, what is a practice like that, something that you do where you're competing, you're being physical, what does that do for your mental health?
I've come to realize that I got two choices in life. I got the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. I'm sick and tired personally of regretting not suiting up and showing up. I only know what I know, and if I'm not on the jiu-jitsu mat at 6 a.m., I don't know. I have no idea what happened there. Mm-hmm. I didn't grow and I didn't learn. I stayed in bed. Mm-hmm. And, I lived a large chunk of my life wanting to know everything or to be finished with the job and wanting to, get to the top of the mountain. And, jiu-jitsu taught me that it's really, really about the journey, not the destination. There's always someone bigger, meaner, and stronger, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. There's always a solution to the problem. I don't care if my thumb's in my ear and I got, somebody twisting on my ankle. Just because I don't know how to get out of it doesn't mean there isn't a way to get out of it. And I've learned empirically that the way to get out of it is never to freak out. It's never to get angry and to add force. It's always going to be a really simple thing. And I have this tattoo, so vai na boa, on my arm, which is a Portuguese term, kind of a proverb. It says like, no win is good. No win. No win in life to hold them when to fold them. No win in life to rush in and when to back away. And jiu-jitsu is really an analogy for life. It's in everything, actually. Everything is jiu-jitsu. There's jiu-jitsu moves that have not been discovered yet. Nobody knows them all. Black belts that have been black belts for 2 years fight black belts that have been black belts for 10 years, and they feel like white belts. So everybody's got this humble sense of we're all just here to learn and grow and support each other. And if you can do that in a jiu-jitsu gym, if you can show up and be part of that group, and you can utilize that discipline and exercise that humility and be a part of a team and learn and grow there at 6 a.m. 3 days a week, then you can take that everywhere. If you can't do it there, you can't do it anywhere. You won't be able to do that in your career. You won't be able to do that in your relationship, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So you might as well just have a 1 hour check-in, a microcosm for the rest of your life, and go condition yourself to failing, succeeding, having fun, not dying, and being willing to come back and do it again. Because if you can do it there, you can do it anywhere. That's probably the biggest takeaway with jiu-jitsu for me.
Love it. And you're also a nutrition coach. So
Yeah.
talk to me about that, and talk to me about the importance of nutrition in your mental health and your well-being.
You know, for us in mental health and addiction specifically, nutrition is of paramount importance. You know, serotonin is produced in the gut. You know, they say, trust your gut instinct. And your gut is really your second brain. And when you eat really terrible, especially if you're pouring booze down your gullet, the sugar and dyes and all of these gums and fillers and bulkers and fibers that are in foods, antibiotics from getting sick all the time, they destroy your microbiome, they destroy your gut, and they make it really, really hard to experience joy and connection, if not impossible, if you're on all of that stuff. If you're stuck in that system, it will be impossible, because we got glyphosate Roundup weed killer. It's sprayed on all the inorganic fruits and vegetables. Microorganism killer ingested into the system or sprayed on the stuff that the cows are eating, and now it's in the cow and you're eating the cow, and you're getting Roundup weed killer. You're getting glyphosate in your system, which is a microorganism killer. Your gut is filled with microorganisms, intelligent little critters and bugs that are essential, bacterias that are, and enzymes that are essential for the production of key hormones and chemicals in the body. Without them, you feel like a mutant. You feel off. It just feels wrong. You start looking around at the world and going, how does anybody do it? Because how I feel in the inside, if they felt like me, they couldn't do what they're doing. They wouldn't be running errands, you know? And I can only speak from my experience, right? I mean, that's how I used to feel. I used to sit out on my balcony and watch the world going by and going, wow, are they insane? Don't they know? Don't they know there's nothing to live for? Don't they know everything sucks? Don't they know there's no hope? Don't they know they're just going to fail? Don't they know someone's just going to, you know, that's all I could think of. I changed the way I ate. I changed the way I thought. I changed the people I hung out with. And this really accumulation of changing everything, essentially. But the diet was a really, really huge part to restore my microbiome, to get rid of inflammation and neurotoxic chemicals, hormonal disruptors, you know, testosterone's down, estrogen's up, emotional, no ability to produce serotonin in my gut due to taking antibiotics and any binging on junk food. And I'm sick, and I don't even know it, because I'm just eating, I'm just living. I think it's my fault, or that I need to change something else. I don't know what to change. But I can tell you for sure from my experience, changing my diet, changing my supplement routine, being really mindful of what I put in my body, and trying to eat as just, it's not that hard. Number one, organic, pasture-raised, wild-caught, you know, free-roaming, grass-fed, you know, things like that, non-GMO. That's number one. And number two, non-processed, you know? Eat as much fruits and vegetables as you want. Eat as much nuts and seeds as you want. Eat as much meat as you want. Just don't go for the Wonder Bread. Don't go for the Pringles. Don't go for the Mars bars. Don't go for the Red Vines. You know, don't get off the soda. It's not really much of a deprivation style.
Right.
You can go out and have a bunch of steaks and go ahead, eat your potatoes. They're organic. You know, use some real butter. Don't use the margarine. Don't cook with the corn oil. Let's cook with the real stuff. Let's cook with some beef fat, you know, and really stuff will start to change. Inflammation, clarity, skin tone, and just outlook on life is the most important part, right? Because it doesn't matter how good I look if I don't feel good.
So your biggest advice is to eat clean.
Eat clean. Right. Yeah, read labels. Read labels. If you can't pronounce it, you probably shouldn't be eating it.
If it's a giant word, right?
If you look at some peas, you want to eat some peas. All right, cool, eat some peas. And if you see a bunch of other stuff, it's not peas.
Right.
You know, if you want to have some orange juice, drink some orange juice. But if you turn over the label and you see corn syrup and you see all these other preservatives, it's not orange juice.
Yeah.
Just drink the real orange juice and eat the real food.
Got it. Okay, so what other kind of groups does your company do? Like, let's talk about one at a time, because I know there's several.
Yeah. One of our biggest focus is change your thoughts, change your life. You know, where your mind goes, you go. That thoughts really become things, especially the thoughts most frequently practiced, right? We use various authors and various teachings from guys like Joe Dispenza, guys like Emmett Fox, some Buddhist teachings, some biblical extracts, where we're talking about, hey, where your mind goes, you go. You know, Marcus Aurelius, the Stoics have incredible quotes about how powerful the mind is. And, you know, tolerance, you know, we all build up a tolerance to drugs and alcohol when we're out there. We need more. Right. Tolerance is going through the roof. Need more pills. Tolerance raising. We get sober, and our ability to tolerate, the definition of to be tolerant is to be able to observe without being affected. What happens is I get sober, and everything affects me. How you looked at me, how much money I'm making or not making, how my body looks. I'm just affected. I have no ability to tolerate my outside world because I've become victimized. Victimized meaning I've become reactive to everything. I'm so reactive. Everything is doing to me. Everything is making me feel the way I feel. I'm in a prison of self. I'm convinced it's the world and its players. And the Bible says, be not conformed by the things of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Which means I have a choice. I have a choice on how I can perceive all things. You don't have to be happening to me. You can be happening for me. You can be mad at me and telling me I'm a piece of crap, right? You can be angry, and I can be looking at you, and I can just be glad I'm not angry. I can observe your anger and be like, whew, how many times have I been angry? I'm so glad that's not me right now. So my mental dialogue, my inner monologue can be one of gratitude while you're angry at me. Or my inner dialogue can be like, how dare you be mad at me? Now I have to be mad at you because you're mad at me and you're wrong for being mad at me because don't you know I'm better than you, or I'm right and you're wrong, and now I'm right in it with you. So there's a couple examples of how we can become very conformed to this world and very victimized, reacting. So this change your thoughts, change your life suggests that a mantra or a positive reframe or a personal affirmation, a spiritual statement of absolute truth that appeals to you, a motto. When I say Nike and just do it, they're synonymous to you, right? If I say your way, right away, what do you think of? Burger King. Your way, right away, Burger King. When I say original recipe, what do you think of?
Yeah.
KFC, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so KFC is the brand, right? But they have a catchphrase. You're the brand. You're a product. You're a brand, and you're gonna give yourself a motto that when people hear it, they think of you. When you think of it, you think of you because you've branded yourself. Think about it. If you own a ranch and a cow comes in that's not yours and it's got a brand, you know where it goes.
Right.
Not mine, not my brand, right? That's why you brand your cattle, because now you know they're yours. And you wouldn't accept a cow that's not your brand. And you won't accept an idea anymore that's not your brand if you're able to brand yourself. So we help people come up with their own little mantra, their own little brand, their own little catchphrase, their own little slogan, like, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. That can be your motto. I can just decide right now, if I want to, and so can everybody else across the face of the world, that I am right where I'm supposed to be at all times. No matter where I am, I'm where I'm supposed to be. What does this mean for me? And you can expand on this. What this means to me personally is that there's no mistakes in the universe, that everything happens for a reason, that I don't need to be in yesterday in my mind, and I don't need to be in tomorrow in my mind, because I'm always right where I'm supposed to be, and that's just who I am. Jeremy Jackson, the guy that's where he's meant to be. I am right where I'm supposed to be. You can tell yourself that what's meant for me will be. What's meant for me will be. You got a pay cut on your check. Well, what's meant for me will be. There's a reason for it. I don't know what it is. I don't even like it. I don't want a pay cut. Nobody does. But if you believe that somehow, some way, what's meant for you will be, you'll be able to deal with it way better. You'll be able to think, hey, wait a minute, rather than being angry at this job that just pay cutted me and freaking out and being a dick, maybe I could go look for another one out of a place of gratitude, out of a place of excitement to make more. That's a mind shift. I never thought of it like that. And I like that. That feels good because I just decided that what's meant for me will be, and I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Nothing's happening to me, man. Everything's happening through me and for me. You know, nothing happens to anybody. It really doesn't. By the time anything happens out here to any of us, me and you included, regardless of how far we've come and how much work we've done, you know, you still got a Chris Cox filter. And by the time what I say enters you, it's been compared with other stuff, you know, or people that it reminded you of and your perception of it based on your understanding, your age, your level of education. And it's not even what I said anymore. It's your version of what I said, or it's not even what I did anymore. It's your version of what I did. Sometimes we get pretty close, you know. We all want to be pretty close to receiving life in an authentic way, to really be in touch with reality, not just so in touch with our own perception of reality. Those are the best moments for everybody. However, the first phase of getting out of this me filter, being so stuck on me, is mantraing it out. So I'll say nothing's falling apart. Everything's falling together. Nothing's falling apart. Everything's falling together. And it doesn't matter if I have to say that 1,000 times in a day. If I am the type of person who throws the baby out with the bathwater, if I'm the type of person who catastrophizes, if I'm the type of person who assumes the worst, I know it's not helping. I don't know how to not do it. I've been doing it my whole life. If I could just stop doing it on my own, I would have stopped doing it a long time ago, because every time I do that, it hurts. It hurts worse than it helps. I know it. So does everybody else. I wish you wouldn't always do it. Why do you always do that? Well, I don't know. And I can tell you why. It's because you haven't replaced it with anything. Remember Indiana Jones when he's in the temple? You can cut to the thing right here. And he wants to steal the treasure, but he's got to replace it with a sandbag that's about the same weight. Otherwise, he's going to set the trap. So you need to replace. Oh, I'm so sick of catastrophizing, throwing out the baby out with the bathwater. I'm so tired of pulling the whole sweater apart just because one string was loose. But I sure do it. I've done it in my family. I've done it in my job. I've done it in my sobriety. I've done it in my finances. So nothing's falling apart. everything's falling together. And I replace through consistency and repetition to retrain through these mantras, through these new thoughts that have some type of depth, weight, gratitude, some type of love, some openness to them, some type of expansion of hope, right? I replace, because your mind is essentially your software. Your nervous system from the neck down is your hardware, the subconscious mind. It's the feeling center. Here's the thinking and here's the feeling. Mm-hmm. And the feelings come and we keep making decisions based on the feeling, but it's supposed to be the other way around. We're supposed to have the thought and create the feeling. But the student has become the master. And the master's here, from the neck down is the student, and we can retrain our hardware through new software, new data, which means we will change the program. What we're actually experiencing out here won't change, but it'll feel and it look like it changed. Like it's a different world, even though it's the same, because all you did is change the lens. Mm-hmm. All you did is change the perspective. The more I let go, the more I have, man. The more I let go, the more I have. Man, I'm carrying so much burden. I'm carrying so much shame. I'm carrying so much fear. I'm carrying so much hate, so much lack of forgiveness. Carrying so much from past trauma, carrying it, man. I wonder why I feel so weighted down. I wonder why I have back problems. Why do my knees hurt all the time? So, hey, this stuff, man, it has metaphysical attachment, has energetic, it binds, and it creates illness in the body. It creates inflammation in the body. So, hey, the more I let go, the more I have. Yeah. And you can receive the new only in letting go of the old. So we retrain the brain, and people have a liberation here. People have a new sense of peace, a new sense of passion. They're essentially rebranding themselves, man. This is a rebranding process.
Love it.
You want to show the camera our favorite book?
Oh, yeah. Emmett Fox is right here. Emmett Fox.
So this book right here. Let's talk about this. The Golden Key.
Golden Key. So it's one of the practices that we teach from. It's a 2-page essay. I recommend everybody go run out and get it. Written in the 1930s. This guy was a spiritual consultant to Bill W., who later created the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, which has helped billions of people. And he mentored Bill W. So the Golden Key just states that stop thinking about your problems. That's the key. And you got to think about something spiritual instead. If you got religious attachments or ideas, perfect. Just replace it with thank you, God, all day long. Thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. Right where I'm supposed to be. It really doesn't matter if it is religious or it's not. It can be Mother Nature. It can be energy. It can be anything. But don't think about the problem and think about the solution instead. Be grateful for the solution. So we'll play a game, and I'll show you how the Golden Key works.
Okay.
Whatever you do, do not picture the Statue of Liberty right now. Hey, dude, cut it out, man. What's wrong with you? How dare you picture the Statue of Liberty? We said not to. See, it's impossible not to picture it.
Right.
It's also impossible not to feel the bad crap. It's impossible not to think of yourself as the bad guy. If you're going through a hard time right now and family thinks you're a bad guy, you're not. You're just needing to get well. You're not bad, right? So we focus on the problem, and the problem grows, right? You can't stop thinking about the Statue of Liberty by being told not to think about the Statue of Liberty.
Exactly.
So I want you to picture a sailboat right now.
Okay.
And it can be anywhere you want, and I'll make it your own, man. Maybe what's kind of got brass windows? I don't know. Is it huge? Is it little? And you're really focused on the sailboat, right? Did you see the Statue of Liberty while you were focused on the sailboat?
No.
Really?
No.
That's weird. Well, go back to the sailboat. Let's take it to another level. Go back to the sailboat. See, is there wind in the sails? Is it on the water? Is it dry? You love this sailboat. The sailboat's beautiful. And as you're thinking about the sailboat, really focused in, and I can say Statue of Liberty as you're picturing the sailboat, and you still only see the sailboat because you're focused on what you want. You've replaced the problem with something that you prefer to focus on.
That's a good point. Good exercise.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. It's cool stuff.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, what's in this black bag right here?
Oh, man. Thank you to My Intent, a supporter of Energy Wellness Group for many, many years now. I'll show you mine. We all have one. Everybody on the team has one. It's a nickel washer right there. And as you can see, I've got YHWH. It's something that is a memento to me. It's a word that represents one of the oldest names for God, which is potentially pronounced why, right? Inhale, exhale. Hebrews don't use vowels. The vowels are presumed. So no A, E's, and so they just write in the consonants. So that's how you would spell the name of God, which is supposed to be not allowed to be pronounced. It's supposed to be taboo to pronounce this name. However, I think the text were misconstrued, and what they were really saying is that it's impossible to pronunciate the truest name of God because you're already doing it all day long just by inhaling and exhaling. The Spirit, inspire, in, breathe, inhale, means the same thing. Spiritus meant breath, and then was translated to life force energy, and then translated to spirit. So this is my bracelet that I love, and I wear this every day to remind me to breathe, to remind me to be grateful.
You can put anything on it. Mine says freedom.
Ellie says freedom. And we have this fun little toolkit that we will pull out. We've got this cute little mini hammer. I have a little stamp right here. Just put that there. We take our bracelets, put it on the wheel. It's got a nice little silicone blocker so it doesn't mess anything up. And we're going to make you a bracelet today, man.
Let's do it.
We're going to make you a bracelet. You might already know what your word is. If you don't already know what your word is, what we'll do is we'll spend time with clients. You see, if I'm a genie and I could grant you a wish, any wish, one wish, however, one wish. Now, I can grant you the gift of love. I can grant you the gift of peace. I can grant you the gift of gratitude. I can grant you the gift of forgiveness. I can grant you the gift of joy. I can grant you the gift of faith. I can grant you the gift of courage. We're going to just put some positive words out there, right? Now, as a genie, I'm not telling you that you're going to be rich. I'm not telling you that nobody in your family's ever going to get sick. I'm not telling you you won't lose a job, gain a job. I'm not telling you you might not get into relationship problems. But what I'm telling you is that you will never have to lose your faith, that it'll always be there, that your courage never has to be taken from you again. You can remain courageous no matter what's going on outside of you. That hope, that there'll always be a glimmer of hope, regardless of how bleak it looks. Your hope will still be there. And then you see what you want. Then you grab your word.
All right, I got my word.
What's your word?
Purpose.
Purpose.
Yep.
See, purpose, no one can ever steal that from you. You can always have purpose. You can be purpose helping people on the street with nothing, right? You can have purpose running a Fortune 500 company. Doesn't matter how high up or how low you are, you can always have purpose. It doesn't matter if you're in a hospital bed sick, you can get on a YouTube and encourage other people, right? Purpose is a powerful thing. And as we stamp purpose into this bracelet and you put this bracelet on your wrist, this is your chosen ideal. I didn't tell you what to pick. You picked it. This is your word. This is your intention. And often in life we forget. We're, oh man, I wish I would have just remembered. I lost my purpose, right? I got distracted. Now, you never have to get distracted again because you got purpose right here on your wrist for a daily reminder.
Remember it every day.
Your chosen ideal, your chosen objective, your chosen shore. We're all on a boat here, and we got our shore in sights. It's purpose. I'm always in the direction of purpose, so congratulations.
Love it.
Too loud.
Will you pick me? Pick me the perps.
I need the letters. Those are the-
Oh, these are the things? Okay. We got symbols too, man. You want a little heart on there. You want an infinity sign, a paw print, a cross.
Pick a sign for me, Ellie, too.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll tell you what, man. While I'm making you this bracelet, I'll introduce you to something else we do here. Because we don't want to leave anybody feeling bored with nothing to do. So while I am making your bracelet, I'll have you go through and use your left hand, pick yourself a spirit animal card, and we're going to send you home with some stickers. Look, I got these.
Love it.
It says, think happy. It says, never give up. It says, work hard and make it happen. It says, everything will be okay. Keep fighting. You can, and you're halfway there. Believe it. Just some positive stickers. You get to go home with some stickers. We usually have about 1,000 on a table.
Wait,
People,
I can take this many stickers?
You can take
My
that many
daughter's
if you
gonna be
want.
so
Those are
happy.
for you.
Yeah. And my spirit animal is a porcupine.
Oh, I can't wait to read the porcupine. So we'll bring about 500 stickers in and have people just dig through them and make their journals, their water bottles, and then they have those little positive affirmations and those positive things to focus on all day. Purpose coming right up. There you go,
Love
brother.
it. Thank you so much. Look at that.
I did it long ways. I did it a little custom.
That's cool.
Just for you.
That is cool. Oh,
Let's get into this porcupine, man. I'm curious.
the porcupine.
What's the message coming up for you? Now, some people will freak out and be like, oh my gosh, these
I'm
are
a porcupine.
these are tarot cards. This is satanic. And I'm like, look, man, we're tapping into Mother Nature. We're reading about the porcupine to see what the message is and how the porcupine lives, how the porcupine behaves and acts. That might be applicable to me. That's all it is. It says, free yourself of guilt and shame. Hey, that doesn't sound very negative. I love that. See the world through the eyes of a child, trusting your inner mother and father to be there whenever you need them. Protection is available when you need it, so you can feel safe in expressing yourself in all the different ways you've always wanted to. There's boldness and innocence, and there's no more need for you to hide behind any childhood guilt about perceived misdeeds or to be consumed with shame about revealing your truest self. You're a gentle soul, and you have never intentionally harmed anyone. Releasing all guilt over your behavior or shame about yourself in any and all situations. There's no need to feel resentful, victimized, or arrogant towards anyone else either. Be the child of God that you are. In your heart, live in the garden. Others may cause you to prickle, but truly most of what they do or say is harmless and of no threat. So be joyful and grateful, and let everything you do be done with complete abandon. Dance, laugh, sing, and be free again, just like you were on the day you were born. Additional associations: humility, protection, sensitivity, and trust.
Love it.
Thanks for playing our game, man.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up?
Oh, I know we've been here forever.
Did we miss anything, Ellie?
I mean, this is always really good for, this will be good for clickbait right here.
Do it.
You ever played with divining rods?
No.
You ever seen these things? How about you? You ever seen these?
Cole?
Okay, this is really good for clickbait here.
It's like a witcher out in West Texas where they found the
looking
water.
for water.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, show me yes. Thank you. Show me no. Thank you. Now you ask a question. What do you want to know?
Is Cole going to have a great weekend?
What's his last name?
Minsinger.
Is Cole Minsinger going to have a great weekend? Undecided. It's in the balance. That's what that means.
It's like the magic 8
It's a
ball.
maybe. No, it's a maybe. Yeah, that's up to him, right?
Right?
Okay. Is somebody watching this interview going to be impacted enough deeply to reach out for help?
Ooh, there we go.
Thank you. That's a yes when they go in. Should that person watching right now who's wondering if that was meant for them pick up the phone now? Thank you. Is the work we do trying to help people pointless? Okay, that's a no. Thank you. Got any more questions?
No, I'm just tripping out on that.
You want to see something weird?
Yeah.
This happens. This one I don't understand yet. I haven't gotten there. Is love always the answer? It goes out for no.
No.
That surprised me. So like I believed love is the answer. Like, oh, love is, love is my religion. Love is always the
Can I
answer.
hold those?
Love heals everything. And it goes no.
And so these,
You just hold them out straight, get
Yeah, you
them
gotta
both real
work
even. It swivels here and it swivels there, so don't block the swivel. Just calibrating to you, letting it get into your energy.
oh, wow.
Cool.
And so it just evened out on its own
Perfect.
after it calibrates.
He's not a paid participant. Try to keep them level.
Try to
They
keep
don't
'em
dip.
level.
Now that the beads in level with your hand, you're perfect.
Let's see if the same question happens the same for me.
Okay.
Is love always the answer? The left one's moving out. The right one's staying the same.
They're definitely widening out.
They're
Which
moving
is
out.
weird, man. I don't want to believe that, but there's something to it. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Let me ask another same question because I did nothing to like. Is someone watching this going to be affected and reach out for help? Oh, that's trippy. That's trippy.
Thank you.
I did nothing like different. Like, Cole.
So one of
He
my
wasn't controlling those.
one of my favorite ones. Yeah, no, I'm really just trying to hold them dead still. Does God exist?
Oh,
Every
that was
time,
fast.
every time, it points right at me. It will point at you too, because God is inside you.
So cool.
Does God exist?
Not only do they say yes, they go right back to you.
All right.
So you can imagine an hour of playing around with people, asking crazy, wild questions, and having fun, and getting the secrets to the universe, and pulling spirit animal cards. We'll light some sage to end our time here, smudge us out.
Love it.
Hope you practice your positive thought mantra.
Thank you.
What's your golden key going to be?
I don't know. I was thinking about that.
Good.
I like calm, cool, and collective.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I struggle with that a little bit. There we go.
Today I choose calmness, coolness.
It's cool for the camera.
Love it.
Calm, cool, and collected is my preferred method. I prefer to be calm, cool, and collected. I enjoy being calm, cool, and collected. Is that's my brand, man. That's who I am. Calm, cool, and collected works. I like calm, cool, and collected. Calm, cool, and collected breaks down barriers, opens up new opportunities. Calm, cool, and collected's contagious. You know what I mean? Like it's just like that. You rewire the way you think about it. It just becomes part of your inner monologue, your inner dialogue, and before you know it, you're like, dude, I've been like a cucumber the past couple weeks. What's going on? Like, man, I've been focusing on that mantra. Yeah.
Love it.
As a man thinketh, so shall he become.
Yeah. Love you. Thank you.
Love you, bro.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right. Good stuff.